Welcome to Art 30 Figure Drawing. I wanted to go over some of the details and structure of the class with you and show you some images of what we can expect to be covering. We'll be drawing primarily from recordings of poses of models, and we'll be drawing from direct observation. We'll be focusing a lot on time drawings. So we will start often with 1 and 2 minute poses where we will make very fast representational drawings. And then others will work in longer poses of up to 20 minutes. As we progress further in the semester, we'll also be making very much longer poses where you'll have multiple days to work on a drawing and really get into the fine detail and finish work of a drawing. One of the important aspects of drawing from the figure, and why it's different than drawing from a still life or a landscape, is that we're drawing another human being. And this is can be a very moving and profound experience. And in a sense, it's in a way like looking in the mirror, in that the human body is something that we can all understand and relate to. We're used to seeing the human body amplified and used basically as avatars of ourselves in public sculpture as well as advertising. We often see exaggerated forms of the human body and musculature in film is probably where we mostly see it. And this helps us to understand that basically the body is a very dynamic and complicated machine. It's layers of cartilage and muscle and bone. And as you can see in these drawings by Leonardo da Vinci, who dissected figures and in order to improve his art so he could see and understand more fully the structure of the human body. While this is not an anatomy class, we will be learning to understand basically the surface anatomy of the body and how to recognize these very important landmarks as you're drawing. Understanding how to find these landmarks will really make the process of drawing from the figure much easier, and it will take some of the intimidation out of it since you'll fully be understanding exactly what you're looking at. We won't be delving, while we will be doing anatomical studies of the human body, most of it will be drawing directly from observation. That is the thing that you'll grow to learn, is that when we're looking at the surface features of a body, we're getting all kinds of clues as to the musculature and cartilage and bone underneath. And particularly as we're drawing together as a group on Thursdays, I'll be pointing out specifically the clues that are revealing themselves to us in the human body. And that will make your drawings much better and much more sophisticated because you'll understand more fully the complete structure that's happening underneath. It will also help you understand, in looking in general at the human body, the complexity of it. And also, as we're drawing it, we'll go into detail on things like the sighting technique, proportions, measurements, all the things that will help you be more confident drawing and to take the guesswork out of it. Things like the sighting technique and understanding measurement and proportion will be extremely important, particularly in the beginning as we draw. Understanding what we're looking at through things like plumb lines and angled lines help us line up features of the body. And also understand the underlying rhythms and poetry that we see in the human body, in that there's almost never a straight line in it, and that essentially we're a series of rhythmic curves that kind of go both in the interior and exterior of the body. As we start, one of the most important things we'll learn to do is how to do timed gesture drawings. And those are, as I was mentioning, anywhere between 1 to 2 minute quick sketches up to 5 to 15-minute longer sketches. But in this, you'll learn to understand the structure of what you're looking at and how to represent it with economical, very limited lines that will help describe your understanding of the body. And also you'll learn to see the way the weight opposes distributing, that there's a certain thrust of action in the body as we're looking at it, and also a direction, an implied direction that the body is moving in, as well as types of action they're undergoing and where the stresses and weights are on the musculature of the body as it's holding itself up or as it's propelling itself forward. We will also look at how light works as it falls on the body and creates value, both in detail, physically, things like cast shadows and core shadows, but also the psychological implications of value in drawing. We'll look at multiple figure drawings and compositions and how an arrangement of figures in a drawing affects the psychology of it and how we perceive it. We'll also look at important aspects like point of view of the person drawing the work related to the figure, and whether it's a very low point of view or a very high point of view, and how that psychologically affects how we perceive the drawing. We also want to address just the basic physical layout of the drawing and how important that is in how the reader advances, the viewer advances through what they're looking at. Even things like eye contact that we're making with the model is very important and really affects our perception of the model and the drawing, whether the model is looking directly at us or past us, are very important aspects of the drawing. And as I mentioned, we'll get into more detailed aspects, finely finished aspects of the drawing as we go through the semester.